The character I play, her name is Sarah Barkant, and she was born in South Africa. She, at about the age of 16, had a relationship with a young black man, and obviously that was against the apartheid law, and her mother was forced to really lose custody of me. Sarah Barkant, when she got old enough, went to New York, left the country, was very upset with how the country treated her and treated people in general, and didn't want to be a part of that. Didn't feel that that was the way she saw things. She didn't see things the way the South African government saw it. So she decided to leave and make a life of her own in New York City, and she became a successful lawyer there. And she's asked by Ben Hoffman, who is really a mentor of hers, to come back and help in a Truth and Reconciliation hearing. And she is drawn back to the country to do this, to help him. Meets Alex Mpondo, who she is a lawyer for. My research was, I read a lot of books. Obviously I read Red Dust. I read My Traitor's Heart. Working with him and building these characters together and building the script together, and just the structure and has been phenomenal. I think he's going to have to anchor this whole story, and there's a lot of people in it, and there's a lot of different stories throughout it to be told, and he's doing really an extraordinary job, and I think he's going to have a really bright and promising future. He seems to make movies that are not only entertaining but really important. So to be involved in a movie with him and his company is really fantastic.
I'm playing the part of the character called Dirk Hendricks, and he's a very interesting. He's a guy serving time in prison. He applies for amnesty. He's down 10 years. He's got 8 years to go, and he's a really nasty piece of work with obviously a lamentable history, and hopefully. I can do justice to the kind of the terrifying injustices that he's done. He's open to suggestion. He likes broad proposals, strident proposals. He'll always pull you back and say, "Oh, that was a bit radical. Can you kick me up with something else?" I think he's a great chap, a good bugger. Well, this is obviously the BBC and Anand Singh and Video Vision have been into bed together. It's my second project with them. Very exciting and highly successful. The first one, it's always a great team, great production team. So I know Helena Spring who I worked with. She was my producer the last time. And Ruth Caleb's on this one too, and David Thompson I know from before. And when you feel relaxed, and I know the captain's there, and I know the project's going to be good, and I'm very happy, and I look forward to doing more work with them.
Well, it's basically a girl who was living in this town and didn't feel the barriers between black and white were necessary or correct, and started interacting with the blacks, ran therefore very correctly into conflict with the police, and the status quo of the town, then leaves the country and then comes back to defend an activist who, in a case, you know, where they are pleading for clemency. It's not a classical role where you have a man struggling to get to a point, changes, and lives out the rest as a new kind of a man. I see Piet Muller really in that light, you know. But he's an ominous presence, and he's permanent. He's there, and he's a pole of the film in that sense. An unspoken kind of threat. I've actually played a couple of parts of post-traumatic stress syndrome people, and I've spoken to quite a lot of people who were I was in the army, but I never actually went to Angola and did active service. And funnily enough, these people have come into my life where I meet them and they've got farms way out back somewhere against a mountainside. And then we're talking, and the guy says to me, I was also in the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. And that starts a conversation, and then he tells me about Angola, and he tells me about 32 Battalion, that he was actually the head of 32 Battalion. And then you get into the nitty-gritty of these guys. He says to me, this particular guy, although I've spoken to him quite a few, maybe 5, he said to me that he's turned his back on violence. I've been very peripheral in this film. It hasn't been a steam bed of artistic interaction for me, and that's for the others. But it's been lovely to watch, for instance, how foreigners like Hilary Swank come in here and Cuetel, how they absorb as quickly as they can the fabric and texture of this country and try to put as much as they can into these performances. The way they try to get accents right there. This is, for me, I have respect for that. And although I've only done a few scenes with these people, it comes across, you know. And working with Jamie Bartlett, his enthusiasm for development of a concept, to always try and broaden a performance or to get something more rich, has been lovely.
What attracted me first to the story was, I think meeting Tom to begin with. I just returned from London doing a play, and they grabbed me at the airport in Cape Town and drove me to the hotel in Cape Town City to meet Tom. He told me the story of the book, and especially the one character he mentioned that he had me in mind for, Ben Hoffman, really appealed to me. And I also found just meeting Tom was great, because he went all the trouble of watching my movies. He saw Paljas, he saw Fourth Reich, Stander, and I felt at least this guy went to the trouble of trying to find out what my work was like, and not just sitting there and saying, okay, do an audition for me. And you can see in his eyes, you're not really what he was looking for. And so we had a good chat, and then I read the script, I loved it, and I was on. The story itself, shortly, is Truth and Reconciliation Commission coming to a small plotland town. The effect it has on the town itself and the inhabitants, and the story of some of the inhabitants of Alex, Hendricks, a policeman who applied for amnesty, and he tortured Alex many years ago, and Alex is against Hendricks getting amnesty. And then there's the the lawyer from New York that's coming to defend Alex, and her mentor, Ben Hoffman, a human rights lawyer that I play. And to me it's sort of not only the political story itself, but a thriller in some aspects. I'm playing Ben Hoffman, a human rights lawyer. He's been one for a number of years during the apartheid period. He's a good friend of Alex and Sarah, the lawyer from New York. She grew up in his home, and he was sort of a mentor to her, and a lovely relationship between them. She went off to New York, and he uses this, or he sees this as an opportunity to get her back to South Africa. But he really would like her to come back on a permanent basis, because he feels, as he has a duty towards his country and the people and what we've been achieving here, that she should have the same duty towards the country. And he's a manipulator. He's to start off with, he's ill. He's got a heart condition, he's in a wheelchair, so he can't handle the case himself. So he gets Sarah to come over and do it, and he forms a team with her, but in a way manipulates her to handle the case as he would have done it, and also the other people. To him it's a chess game, and which he enjoys. And then of course, towards the end, he had another agenda beside Hendricks applying for amnesty and Alex opposing it, that he wanted to find out what happened to Steve Zazela, son of his, a good friend of his. So at least, and finally, they do find out what happened to Steve, and who the perpetrator was.
Visita mi canal.
So it's a very interesting and good and satisfying journey for him, although sad in the end when Sarah goes back. You know, it's a joy to work with really good actors. I always say it's like a tennis player. The better your opponent is, the better you play. And I've just told Hillary again, she was an absolute joy to work with. She gave so much of herself, and she was so honest in what she was doing. And we had difficult scenes, long scenes, emotional scenes. And you really need another actor that's totally in tune with you. And I found we had a great connection. And it was very, very satisfying to work with her. And Chewie, I only had one scene with him, which was a pity because he's a lovely actor. And also great again to work with some of the other South African actors, which I haven't even seen in about a decade. And finally we're all in the same movie. That was great.
Tom, please tell me the truth. Did that work for you? He says, no, it worked for me. There was a scene, for instance, which I did over and over and over. Tom just didn't get it right. I didn't know the kind of emotion to apply there. But he was patient with me. Until I delivered what he wanted. I think it was more than 7, 9, 10 takes, maybe more or less. But when he said, okay, check the slate. I said, Tom, are you happy? He said, yeah, I'm happy, Tom. And you can see it in the man's eyes that, no, he is happy. Because when Tom is unhappy, he pouts like a child. I've noticed that. No, don't tell him. But he's going to see this anyway. Yeah, no. He's got a kind of a pout like a baby. A displeased baby, an unhappy baby. Then I know he's not happy. Yeah. got nothing against international actors. But I have to say, our story is our story. Did they really feel the pain we felt? You heard me when I said to you, I'm not acting.
I read Gillian Slovo's book, Red Dust, and thought she'd done an amazing job in telling the story of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission through the eyes of one story or one family, and felt that there was a great motion picture in it. I had discussed it with the BBC, who felt similarly, and we then went upon developing a script based on the book. There were a number of directors interested in doing the film, but Tom was someone who was looking to do his first feature, and having looked at his previous work and ones that he won awards for, like Daniel Deronda and Prime Suspect, we felt that he would be an exciting choice with a fresh eye, and he was very enthusiastic and had a really good take on the script, and I think he's done a great job on it. We put together a cast list on the film, and Hillary was one of the first people we thought of. And we had a casting agent, Pam Dixon, who got the script to her, and she fell in love with it, and we were very fortunate that we were able to get her to play this role, and I think she does a magnificent job. Chiwetel is someone that I thought was really fantastic, and I noticed him when he played the role in Amistad about 10 or 12 years ago. And his career has blossomed, and in Dirty Pretty Things, he really was one of the most exceptional, played one of the most exceptional roles I've ever seen on screen. And again, once we got him the script, he fell in love with it, and we were very fortunate to have him play the role of Alex. A number of South African actors play opposite Hilary Swank and Chiwetel Ejiofor, and I think they held their own phenomenally well. Jamie Bartlett, Ian Roberts, Marius Veyes have all received phenomenal response for their performances, and they really make us proud to have these South African talents.
One of the advantages of having Sarah's character is it gives people a point of reference. It gives there is an outsider you can identify who's coming back. But also I feel that in the white community, the white diaspora is a central defining feature of the fallout from apartheid, particularly amongst people who weren't comfortable with it. And therefore it was nice that the film reflected that aspect of the white response. And very much explored, I suppose, something which is close to Gillian's heart, which is, I suppose she's probably always thought, would she come back? And she hasn't come back, but I know she feels complex things about it and still thinks South Africa's her home. I think therefore it was, without wanting to speak for her, make softness about her, I think it's very personal to her. Conversation each hotel and I said, so do you think anything's going to happen? They went, no. They said, no. Wanted by letting us support to help give the film more of an international life. And it's extraordinary actually how much responsibility actors in that position have for allowing films to be made or not. Whatever we feel about the star system, it is powerful in commercial terms, and so I'm very grateful to her that she got behind it and was willing to make a choice that maybe to her Hollywood contemporaries would be considered quite brave.
I was kind of terrified of meeting the actor that played Hendrix. And then Jamie walked in, and I think the first thing he said, then we're having a rehearsal with Raffinette, and Jamie stormed in the room and he said, "Tom, I don't want to shave my beard because I've got a very wobbly chin." So, of course, you utilize all the emotions that very difficult situations brought about, and you utilize the complexity of living in the world at the moment, in all its horrors. And if you're doing a film like this, of course you bring that to the fore. What you're fortunate about, I think, and what I felt fortunate about in this film, is that the group of people that I was working with were so skilled and so emotionally contained that we were able to pursue the project for itself. And that's a very valuable asset when you make films that are emotional.
Okay, let's start locking it off, please, folks. Here we are, here's another one. Jake, do it. Younger, coming on camera. Jake. Rolling!
What time is it now?
Well, why don't you go and do the Valley Destination shot now? It's 6:30 now.
See the city and everything, and then I will give you a cue, and then just say, "Philip, go, go, go," and he's going to then kick in and go for it.
Tus trailers, visita mi canal.
Mark. Set. And action.
Hey, boy. You didn't think I was going to throw it away? Why? Let us go and speak to your uncle.
Here, Alex, you don't know we are happy.
voices in the hall there. Perhaps you could raise your arm and point him out to us. I'm asking you to ID the man that brought Steve to your office. Do you want me to do it for you? That's him! Isn't it? Order! Outrageous! He is assaulting my client.
Can we just keep rolling and just do the beginning? Or do you want to cut? Fine. You?
This is the tin that Steve and I used to pass messages to each other.
Did you open it? What's in it?
It's rusted shut. I'm treating it with oil.
What about a can opener?
This contains Steve's last letter.
Well, we're doing the hearing in half an hour, and we need to know what's in it.
Can we cut that else?
Yes.
That's terrific.
That's the part that's the line, that last line that I wanted to read. So I'm glad you didn't cut it before that.
Thank you,
We're picking up from Mr. Roberts' walk. Right. Bubble, bubble, bubble. Turn over.
Okay, very quiet, please.
Chat.
All right, Simon. Miming.
Yes, miming, chatting. Hello, son.
593, take 4, pick up.
Park. And set.
And action.
Welcome back. You recognize me? Yeah. You all grown up. Just couldn't stay away from us. You had to come back. Spokane. You always sleep with the door open. Join the party.
Cool.
I think the main thing is on this, because we come a bit closer, you have to really keep your face low. And if you raise this shoulder up a little bit, so actually raise this part of your body slightly higher up. Yeah. So that's how you're using that to mask your face. Yeah.
And the whipping in this area here.
Basically from here to
so
there.
Whack anywhere then.
Correct.
And when's the handcuff going out?
And then, yeah, the
Is it
handcuff
separate
will
or is
it will be done in the beginning as we did before.
Okay.
But the sopranos, I think, don't go as high as in Europe. Because the soprano, that would be, this would be very comfortable for, for.
No, we do go as far as
As the A above.
Above this one. We do.
I wondered if that wasn't.
No, we do.
Something that I didn't get right.
No, we do.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Marche
We're fine with that.
No, we're fine with it.
So let's do the next bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. You hold it, yeah? Sounds fantastic.
3, 4. Hey, 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 buena. That is 46 again. 3, 4. Hey, 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 buena. Now sing from 42. Buena, 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 mama. 3, 4. Buena, 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 mama.
Inkululeko, hey, 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 wena, uthando nalo lukhona, wena, mama.
Nayikhululeko.
Nayikhululeko.
Okay, once more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nayikhululeko.
Nayikhululeko, hey, 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 wena, uthando nalo lukhona, wena, mama. Asibulelelelele ni wetu sitokoze, asibulelelelele ni wetu sitokoze, asibulelelelele ni wetu sitokoze, asibulelelele asipeli mawetu, asipeli mawetu. Isikhathi sesifikile, intetelelo ikhona, na inkululeko, uthando lulukhona, asibulelelelele ni wethu sithokoze, asibulelelelele ni wethu sithokoze, asibulelelelele ni wethu sithokoze, asibulelelelele ni wethu sithokoze. Amandla, amandla.
So you go, the choir goes, woo, azipeli, my way to, my way to, yeah? Woo, azipeli, my way to, my way to, yeah. Okay.
Azipeli, my way to, my way to.
Azipeli, my way to, my way to.
Sizodlala sonke, woza sizodlala umqashiyo, woza sizodlala sonke, woza sizodlala umqashiyo, wo 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 wo
Siragosa,
Visita mi canal.